Well, one win this week, one loss this week, one blowout win, one blowout loss. A little bit of feast and famine for the Tennessee basketball team. We'll talk about that and where the team goes from here next on the Volunteer Club Locker Room. Powered by Spyre Sports. This is the Players Show. Well, happy, is it Big Game Sunday? Am I going to be sued if we call it Super Bowl Sunday? Mark Packer along with Tony Jones, Jason Swain down there. There are times in sports and pickup basketball where you go out and you're ready to play, and there's times you go out and you're just not. You kind of felt like that in the last couple games for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, well, last night, tough venue to play. I played there on a couple occasions when I was at Auburn, once when I was at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. It's just a tough place to play. They were ready to play a top-ranked team against LSU. LSU came in, they played hard, they played tough. They got back into the game after they got down a little bit. But what we got to do a better job of rebounding the basketball. We get out-rebounded by LSU 40-26. They get 18 offensive rebounds, 20 second-chance points, and then Texas A&M out-rebounds us yesterday too, Jason.
There's a third scenario that Mark missed. Sometimes you are ready to play, and they still outplay you.
Right.
And that's, I think, what happened on yesterday, where you can go into the game, be prepared, be ready to play, and you still run into an L-shaped ambush. And that was the case on yesterday with Texas A&M, making a ton of shots early, guys who typically don't make those type of shots. And then the crowd got into the game, rebounding, something they've always done. They're number one in the country in offensive rebounds. And certainly we have to do a better job of rebounding. That's something I'm sure Rick Barnes will cover with his basketball team, and there will be some drills in place. Yeah. They out-toughed us. They were more physical. They got the 50-50 balls, but I don't know what else you can do. T-Live when the other team is busting threes the way they were busting.
Well, Jimmy Dykes made a statement. He said Tennessee is playing hard, Texas A&M is playing really hard, and it's a little bit of a difference. I listened to Rick on Bob Kesselin last night after the show, coming back after my Johnson team beat Kentucky Christian, and Rick said that, hey, give Texas A&M all the credit. Yeah. They came in, they played well, they played to the crowd. They had something to play for. Again, we talked about this last week. Texas A&M want to get in the first division, the top 6 seeds or what have you, and this was an important opportunity for them to do it, and they capitalized on it.
I mean, today's Super Bowl, right? But Tennessee basketball team needs to understand that you're everybody's Super Bowl. You have that low number next to your name. Yeah. Tennessee over the last 4 or 5 seasons, the best regular season record. Everyone talks about Tennessee. Tennessee's a standard. It's not Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky over the last 100 years, yeah, but recently it's Tennessee. And so you go into any arena, you're going to get the opponent's best effort. That was the case yesterday, too.
I think the thing that I was saying about sometimes you go out there and you're not quite there, and sometimes that you are present. I'm going to go to Tobe Awaka. Okay, the look in Tobe's face when they went to Lexington with kind of what came out of him. And Zakai was laughing about that on the show last week because I thought it was funny. And you didn't see that at Texas A&M. And my point is that there are times that you go out and play a game and you just don't have your A game. I still believe in this basketball team. I think this basketball team can win the SEC, can go far in the NCAA tournament. This doesn't change anything for me. It was just a bad day.
Let's just don't discount Texas A&M. They were projected to be second in the SEC this year. Wade Taylor, the fourth, was projected to be the player of the year in the conference. They're not chopped liver. They have some talent. Garcia is an unbelievable rebounder, and then in that venue, it's a tough task. It was a tough task for Tennessee.
One of my main concerns with this basketball team and the losses has been, the physicality in the trenches, in the paint, post play, and Texas A&M was more aggressive. You look at all Tennessee's losses, and they have a theme there, and that's just how our post players, whether that is Jonas Adu, whether that is Tobe Awaka, they can't afford not to show up and not to make their presence felt. And I thought they had a tough day as well yesterday in the office.
And one other point I want to make, Jason, we've got to do a better job from the free throw line. I mean, we go 15 to 25 from the free throw line, 60%. On the road, you have to be able to take advantage when you get to the free throw line and shoot a high percentage.
Yeah. This team now will travel to Arkansas, which is kind of like, as Forrest Gump says, a box of chocolates. You never quite know what you're going to get out of that team. So where do you go from here if you're Rick Barnes? You get back in practice. You've had a big win over Kentucky and a blowout against LSU. You're riding high. You're feeling good. You go to A&M. Okay, y'all are giving them a lot of credit. I'm trying to say they had an off day. Now where do you go? Where do you go practice?
What do you do on Monday is you get in the film session, and the coaching staff, which is a great coaching staff, they'll make their adjustments. They'll tell the team, hey, we as coaches got outcoached. We as players got outplayed. Let's own it. Let's own it. Let's learn from these mistakes. And if you learn from the mistakes, you really haven't lost, Jason. And that's what I think Rick and his capable staff will do with the team on Monday, and then probably have a vigorous practice.
They'll do what they did last time when they lost to South Carolina. The players will hold each other accountable. Josiah-Jordan, James, Jemai Mashack, Zakai Ziegler. I anticipate these guys to hold each other accountable. And they'll receive it well because they got a lot of respect for each other and they love each other. And they'll bounce back. That's what we saw earlier last week when they lost to South Carolina. And I expect them to do the same thing against Arkansas team, quite frankly, that's just not good. But I think we'll still see the improvements being made with the effort and execution.
Give you an opportunity to be a part of the Volunteer Club. For the QR code up on the screen. Scan the code, get all the discounts, get access to the tailgates, that and much more. Being a member of the Volunteer Club, make sure that you join today. Josiah-Jordan James in studio on this Super Bowl Sunday. We'll visit with him when we come back.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by the Volunteer Club. Real Vol fans are members of the Volunteer Club. Food City, Exterior Home Solutions, Lincoln Memorial University, Glass Doctor, and Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop,
where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher
is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
Abraham Lincoln knew the power of an open door. He invited the public into the White House throughout his presidency because he understood open doors lead to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new discoveries. At LMU, our mission is to open doors for every student who comes here, so they can become everything they're meant to be. Come discover how we can open doors for you.
You know, life happens, and damage to your home can be extremely stressful. That's why it's important to find someone who offers efficient, quality work with financing options. Exterior Home Solutions, they value not only family, but community. And they're who I call when life happens, and you should too.
Safety, integrity, reliability. More people trust the Joe Newbert family to return their vehicle back to its original condition or better. Only Joe Newbert Collision Centers offer pickup and delivery, worry-free insurance claim handling, and guaranteed repairs for as long as you own your vehicle. Insist on locally owned Joe Newbert Collision Centers. And drive safely out there.
Your roof, it's the most important protection against nature for your home or your business. That's why I trust the experts at Exterior Home Solutions.
Here, certified butchers freshly grind beef, marking the time it was ground, not just the day. Nobody does food like Food City.
Garza Law Play of the Week. Let's go back to the LSU game. LSU had made a little bit of a run late. Tennessee needed a bucket. They were up 8. Dalton Connect, count that one and the foul. That three-point play pushed that lead back out to 11, and that was the play where it was like, okay, great, you made a little run, but go home. Tennessee ends up winning the game by 20. And I think the thing that, and we'll touch on this just real briefly, is you talked about A&M having the preseason player of the year.
Right.
Connect has just changed things for Tennessee, because when they need a bucket, even at A&M, he comes in and you're like, okay, get out of his way.
No question about it. Dalton has obviously had a great career. I mean, a great season. And for Tennessee to win those close games, you got to have a go-to guy, and he's that go-to guy, Jason.
You got to play better defense, too.
Well,
I mean,
that's something we'll touch on a
we've
little bit later.
We've been tippy-toeing around. Your best players have to be coached the hardest, right?
Okay.
Got to be held accountable. I mean, defense wasn't as good as it needed to be last night. I think Rick set him down because of that.
Well, I mean, Buzz is a good coach. No Buzz, he's a very good coach.
He stepped the court, by the way, but anyway, keep going.
Exactly. In Tennessee, identity is the switch, like screens, perimeter on perimeter. They switch 1 through 4 when Josiah is out there. And it looked like Texas A&M was playing isolation basketball. They was waiting till they had the matchup that they wanted, whether it was Dalton or whether it was Gainey, and I'm going to keep it real. They went after those two guys, and that was their philosophy. Yeah. And in this particular night, they were successful.
I will say this. I think in the broadcast, let's just say, they come on there, and you can always kind of get this bad feel when the broadcasters are going, Tennessee's a #1 seed. Oh, yeah. And they put the graphic up. They've got Purdue, they've got Arizona and Tennessee. And you're like, thanks for nothing. That's like pointing out that the field goal kicker's made 36 in a row and he's perfect, and then he shanks the next one.
Yeah, well, the free throw shooter shooting 90%.
Yeah, he's made 37 in a row. Clunk, my bad.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what they were doing in the broadcast. They were building Tennessee up so high, and it was kind of like, hey, you just got a bad feeling. Okay, so where do you go from here? Arkansas, what do we know about them?
Arkansas is a team that's gone through some internal issues. I don't want to touch on the issues.
You just did, so you got to go there now.
Well, it's internal.
It's internal.
That's all we need to know.
Josiah just dipped his head over there, so you're going to have to go there now.
It's internal.
It's just internal.
We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, and but they played well yesterday, and obviously they got a highly ranked team coming in, and they figuring it. This can make their season if they can knock off Tennessee at home.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a player be away from the team. Now that player is back with the team, who's really, really good. And so
this is the internal issue we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
And so this is an opportunity for Arkansas, like it was for South Carolina, like it was for Mississippi State earlier, like it was for Texas A&M, to get a big win off of a really good basketball team in Tennessee.
No, we'll leave it internal. Okay, so Josiah-Jordan James comes in, and I always love it when we've got kind of the experienced, mature player to come in, just in case it's coming in after a loss. We talked to you when we were coming into studio and said, did the sun come up? And you said, yeah, I went to church this morning. I mean, you're mature enough, you're old enough to understand good games happen, bad games happen. You just got to move on.
Definitely. I mean, I've been playing basketball my entire life. I've lost many games. I've won many games. But the main thing is just keeping the main thing, trusting your work, being who you are as an individual, and, always knowing that you can have an opportunity to get better from wins and specifically from losses.
Josiah, I was a former collegiate basketball player. Jason played collegiate football.
I never did anything.
We as athletes, we probably don't get as much pressure from the team that we put on ourselves internally. I know you've heard the noise that if Josiah-Jordan James plays well, Tennessee is capable of being a Final Four team. How do you negotiate that mindset?
I mean, my biggest thing is nobody has higher expectations on me than I do. And I know my play hasn't been up to par, hasn't been where I want it to be for us to be the team that we need to be. But my thing is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we have a long way to go. A lot of more SEC games to win. And, you want to hit your stride at the right time. And I know that the time is now for us to win the championships that we want to win. And I know that we're more than capable, and I'm more than capable of it.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to send Jason over there for the Food City Player Perspective. I don't know what was in your Wheaties today, but, I mean, you're coming strong today at people. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. Jason and Triple J in the Food City Player Perspective.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by Ted Russell Ford, KOC, the official orthopedic partner of University of Tennessee Athletics, Better Mattress, Commercial Bank, Pilot, and KnoxvilleSmiles.com.
Life happens, and and damage to your home can be extremely stressful. That's why it's important to find someone who offers efficient, quality work with financing options. Exterior Home Solutions, they value not only family, but community. And they're who I call when life happens, and you should too.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the third health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I finally feel in control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I'm an owner.
I am an owner.
I'm an owner. And we're locally owned. Gray Hodges has been serving the Knoxville area with quality craft-made cabinetry for over 7 decades now. Craft-Made manufactures high-quality kitchen and bath cabinets in a wide variety of finishes with modern and traditional styles to choose from. Visit one of our 4 locations and let a Gray Hodges owner show you the perfect craft-made design to fit your needs. Gray Hodges. Employee-owned, service perfect.
Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair is proud to be celebrating 70 years of serving East Tennessee. That's 70 years of old-school customer service, trustworthy auto repair, and of course, great deals on tires. Each one of our 5 convenient East Tennessee locations feature family-friendly waiting areas, and you can schedule appointments and search for tires right on our website at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown values. For 70 years and counting, Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
When you're 6'4" and 320 pounds like I am, finding a mattress is a challenge. That's why I went to Better Mattress for help. It's not about just selling big store brands. At Better Mattress, it's about making a mattress that fits the person's body type and their personal preferences. Look, after a big football game, this body is tired and sore. I have to have a mattress that helps me rest and rejuvenate. Big O and Better Mattress. Good night, just got better.
Your roof, it's the most important protection against nature for your home or your business. That's why I trust the experts at Exterior Home Solutions.
Time for the Food City Player Perspective, and here with Josiah-Jordan James. And Joe, we talked a little bit before the show, but handling adversity. How are you different now than you were last year before?
I would just say, trusting in myself and my belief in myself is much greater than it was in the past. And you try not to listen to it, you try not to look at it, but sometimes it gets back to you. But like I said, my expectation for myself is higher than anybody's expectation for me, and I hold myself to the highest standard possible. And I know that I can be better and that I will be better for sure. One
of the hardest things to do is being a leader at this level because you're around the same age.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold your peers accountable. What was that adjustment like, going from someone that just wanted to do everything right, but you had to transition to a leader that was vocally challenging your teammates? How was that different for you?
Yeah, it's really been a process through my entire career here. Coach put an emphasis on leadership after, I want to say, my sophomore year, saying that we need more vocal leaders and that the best basketball teams that he's been around are player-led teams. And so I took the initiative, Santi and I did, to begin with, and we've got guys like Jamai and Zakai as well. But, it takes a lot of being vulnerable, getting outside of yourself, and being more selfless and caring about other people more than you care about yourself. 26 points against Kentucky, career high, had the oop. But before that, man, you had a slump. For sure. What did you do to get yourself out of that slump? Coach Barnes talked about how you would be okay, and he had confidence in you, but you had to do something to break that glass. What was that process like for you? My biggest thing was just controlling what I can control, taking care of my work day in and day out, whether it be shots before practice, after practice, because I feel like confidence comes from the work that you put in before the games, before the lights are on. And so just being confident in my work and trusting in my work, and I honestly couldn't have had a game like that without the confidence my teammates and my coaches give me on a daily basis, and I know I'll be able to get back to that. What's something right now at this point of the season that you're the most proud of in your team, and something that you know your team needs to work on and improve on before the schedule gets harder and you go into conference tournament play, and then NCAA tournament? I'm just proud of the way we've weathered every storm. Like I said, like we want to go and win every single game, but you know, you win some, you lose some, and I'm glad and proud of the way we've bounced back from adversity and from losses and been able to lean on each other and hold each other accountable. And the biggest thing for us moving forward is just consistency on both ends of the floor for 40 minutes. And playing your best basketball for 40 minutes is really hard to do, but to get to where we want to go and to achieve the things that we want to achieve, we have to become more consistent.
How do you balance having a coach bark at you, and you kind of have to ignore them a little bit, but at the same time, you have to listen to what they're saying? How do you balance that? Because I remember being on the basketball team, and you can't listen to all of it. You have to kind of pick and choose what you listen to. How do you balance that?
The biggest thing is, with a coach who likes to get vocal, like Coach Barnes does, is not listening to how he says it, but what he says. And trust me, it's a lot easier said than done. I'm still a work in progress. We all are with, you know, his coaching style, but you know, he, at the end of the day, you got to know that he wants what's best for us as individuals and us as a team. And if you really understand that, you know, you'll get outside of yourself and know that, you know, I do need to listen to him. I do need to be better, even though he comes off in a kind of crazy tone sometimes.
It happens, right? It happens. Another thing that's going to happen is Texas A&M is going to come here.
Yeah.
You're going to play Kentucky again. You're going to play Alabama again. So a lot of matchups where you're playing a team for the second time. You've won some of those. You've lost some of those. What are you expecting in those second matchups from those teams?
I'll expect a lot of growth from our end. I'll expect, you know, the teams that we beat to come in with a fire, to play really, really good basketball and to want to win. And the teams that we've lost to, I expect us to come out with a great intensity. But the biggest thing is for us, we have to understand that for us to get to where we want to go and to beat the teams in the SEC, that we have to play our brand of basketball for 40 minutes, and we have to be the aggressors to start the game.
Well, Josiah-Jordan James, man, he's been one of the leaders on this basketball team. His play against Kentucky was certainly fun to watch. So happy for him. Look to see more of that from Josiah, guys.
I'm just so impressed with Josiah's experience and his maturity, and to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. I've been to the NCAA tournament 11 times, and to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament, all those teams had experienced leaders, and I think Josiah will be that experienced leader that Tennessee needs moving forward.
Tennessee's got some experience. We'll wrap it up when we come back on the Volunteer Club Locker Room, powered by Spyre Sports.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by the Volunteer Club. Real Vol fans are members of the Volunteer Club. Matlock Tire, Gray Hodges, Humana, D1 Training, and Aqua Clear Water Systems.
At Glass Doctor, our trained specialists are experts at fixing foggy and cracked glass.
Looks great.
You're all set. What we can't fix is your view.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
I'm Dr. Mike Costa, Malone & Costa Dentistry. You can find us at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. I'm standing here in front of a dental robot. We're one of 2 dentists in the state of Tennessee that utilize this cutting-edge technology. Do you have a broken tooth, a tooth that's in pain, or a denture that doesn't fit well? Maybe you're a little anxious? You can come in and we offer comprehensive sedation services and utilize this awesome technology to give you precise, accurate care. If you think this technology can help you, visit our website at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. I look forward to helping you.
Knoxville is my home. I was born and raised here, and I was blessed to raise my family here. This community is one that I'm proud to live in and serve every day. At Ted Russell Ford for over 50 years, we've been Knoxville's hometown dealer. Helping our friends and neighbors own their first car or their dream car or truck has been our absolute pleasure. At Ted Russell Ford Lincoln, we will continue to serve our community because East Tennessee, you've always supported us. Thank you.
Visit us at one of our 2 locations on Parkside Drive or Kingston Pike, or online at tedrussellford.net.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
I was the star around here until Glass Doctor installed this perfect shower enclosure. Now they look at me like, well, there you go.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
All right, Humana goes inside the orange, and who did it better than anyone else this week? Well, it was Dalton Connect, had a pretty nice game against Dalton. Who do you want me to go with? You throw your hands up.
That's the right guy.
Okay.
I'm throwing my hands up because he deserves to be criticized for his defense. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Are you trying to get even? You feel bad about something you said to Triple J over there? What's going on?
No, I feel great.
Well, he seems fine over there.
He is fine.
So Arkansas got the win over Georgia. Now Tennessee goes there on Valentine's night. What are we expecting?
Well, I mean, they got one of their players who haven't played in 17 days. Devontae Devo Davis is coming back, and he's going to be ready to play. They're 3-7 in the league. The last home game they won prior to Georgia, Jason, was beating Texas A&M. So that should get Tennessee's attention. Arkansas going to go in with a little bit of momentum and a little bit of positive reinforcements with Devo coming back.
If you Arkansas, you're looking at Tennessee, you say, hey, they lost to Texas A&M. You know, we beat Texas A&M, right? And you feel good about what you can do at home. They have a home court advantage. They really care about basketball there. And so that should be your mentality. If we can be more physical in Tennessee, hope that Tennessee is missing shots and we can make some shots early, try to take the recipe from Texas A&M, then they may have a chance, but I don't think they will because I think Tennessee is going to clean up all the mistakes that they made.
By the way, after this game, the schedule for Tennessee gets kind of very intriguing because, first off, you've got the Arkansas game, then you've got Vanderbilt, and then here we go. At Missouri, Texas A&M at home, Auburn at home, at Alabama, at South Carolina, Kentucky at home. There's no rest for the weary after you get through the next couple games.
Hey, every game is going to be a tough game. I mean, you can't say, hey, we're going into this game and we're going to win the basketball game. Each and every contest is a different entity. You got to come in, you got to play well, you got to play hard. You got to have what's our signature? Our signature is defense. We got to shut people down, and then we got to have a good field goal percentage from 3-2.
10 seconds left. John Calipari called. He wants his jacket back. We'll see it next week after a game on the road, a game at home. On the Locker Room. We'll see you next Sunday night.
They moved the ball, they found open guys, and Baker delivered in that big win.
An opportunity for LSU that has been competitive this season and especially in league play. 4 wins, 4 losses, looking for what would be their biggest win of the season.
Obviously not good enough to go. That puts a lot more pressure on the freshman Mike Williams, also on Trey Hannibal.
Ziegler in some sort of a groove lately.
Wow.
Tennessee, of course, known for its rugged defense, but this year offensively they have thrived, and it's 8-zip on the heels of the Connect triple.